Hello?
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.
We need to talk.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wntt Talk TV. I'm your host, MR.KOA, alongside
Top Boy.
And we voted today. I voted today.
I definitely
to make
voted.
sure I did my part. We have to understand, us millennials, we have a big part and a big say in what happens in this country moving forward. We are taking over, in terms of technology, industry, education. There's a lot of us, and we do have a big voice, especially social media. Back in the day, there wasn't social media when you're voting, so it's kind of just like, if you don't go, no one really knows, no one can really talk about it. You just kind of, your family talks about it, and that's about it. But now, with all these, platforms and stuff, we have to use it to our advantage, not just posting pure foolishness, but posting things that actually matter. So I made a post today just suggesting, encouraging people to vote. It has I think 60 shares, which is pretty cool, which means people are actually listening and have some type of influence. But it's important to, do these things. And actually, I read a comment that someone said. I actually want to talk about it real quick.
Why you look for that is funny because we're actually the majority now. The millennials are actually the majority of voters.
Yeah.
In terms of the overall population.
You're talking about in Canada specifically?
In Canada specifically,
okay.
Yeah.
So someone commented, which is interesting. I get where they're coming from to an extent, but we'll discuss it real quick. They said, "Do we honestly believe our votes ever count? I wish they did. Our government won't ever provide clean drinking water to all of its people. Why do you think they care about anyone else's opinion that doesn't benefit their pockets or the 1%? I'd vote if it was real, but it's not real." Someone commented under my post.
Yeah.
I didn't address it because I'm not going to address that publicly right now, but we'll address it here.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's funny, I had a long conversation this morning with my partner about this. I think as I've gotten older, I've realized, honestly, the importance of voting from a couple of standpoints. One, if you don't vote, I don't think you have a right to complain about anything, just simply put. And that's because how can you genuinely complain about something if you didn't take the time to at least put in your right as a citizen to vote? It might suck if your person didn't win, but at the end of the day, you need to be at least somewhat educated on what's going on. So for that person to say that it's not real, I think is very untrue because we've seen it in Canada and in the States where
what happens when you don't do
what
it?
happens when you don't vote? Because when you don't vote, people...
You see more of these... You need 1,000 of these people thinking the same thing? That's 1,000 people.
That's 1,000 people
that just didn't go.
Yeah, that didn't vote and didn't contribute. And then the worst case is when you see the numbers afterwards, you're like, wow.
And it's so tight.
Sometimes it's so tight. And it's like if those people made a decision, it could have changed the outcome for a lot of things and a lot of people, right? Your vote, at the end of the day, it may be a small drop in the pond, but when everything adds up, it affects everyone. It really does.
Definitely agree.
So, I don't know.
You said you had a question regarding it? Or a topic you want to...
Yeah, what was your opinion on this first, though?
I definitely agree. I feel like I was saying, if more people think just like this, they actually create their own population of people that are not voting, which that as itself is a large number of influence that is just not now counted or tallied. Yeah. So it's like anything. It's like you can say, you can complain about certain things, but if you do nothing about it, you're part of the problem. Yeah. Right? You can say that racism doesn't exist, but if you don't actively try and find ways to not, portray those certain acts, or if you're not stopping people who make certain jokes, or you know what I'm saying? If you're just like, well, that's just the way it is, then you're actually perpetuating the same problem. Yeah. Other than you can be that one person. Actually, a bigger example is recycling. Yeah. I've heard many people saying, I'll just throw it in here. It's like, if you are that person that just throws a cup or a plastic thing in the garbage, and a million people do the exact same thing because they think, okay, my one thing's not gonna make a difference. If everyone else is recycling, if I put this in the garbage, it's not gonna make a big. It's like, there's other people thinking the exact same thing as you, which makes up a huge amount of people not doing it.
Bro, I'm dying because I didn't get reamed out, but
recycling?
Bro, so it's a bunch of people that live in my house, right? And one of the housemates, he was this older gentleman, and he was going off about the recycling.
Right.
Because this is like a little bit of a side note, but it turns out that like Canada was shipping their garbage away for a couple years to parts of Asia, and they were getting rid of it, like incinerating. But then Asia was just like, nah, we're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
So when it comes to recycling, there are things that I thought could be recycled that just they're not recyclable. Like certain types of plastics aren't, like all these types of stuff, which sounds common sense. I thought like some paper could be recycled and others can't. It's like a lot of it can't. They just incinerate it. And this guy was just going off about how like every week, like I gotta sort through it and all these stuff.
He goes through after.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta sort through it and fix it for the house. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy that you do this. But to your point, it's like, I was thinking this way. I'm like most people where I think this is recyclable, that's not. Right? But there's a lot of me who do this and it just piles onto the problem, right? Until you get educated on it, and then it changes a lot of things, right? So
I think the key word you said is educated, because people just don't care.
Yeah.
And I think it's so easy to just negate things, and it's so easy to just say, I don't want to do this, or it's fake news, or it's not real, or it's a myth, or it's so easy to just throw words out to negate something being a fact.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the time to educate themselves, how many people, like, I'm sure we don't have an actual number, but based on a majority or a minority, you think it's a majority or minority of people who, the ones that are saying, you know, things never change, or this, or complaining about certain things, of that percentage of people, how many of them do you think actually go and research the problems that they're talking about?
Very small.
Very small.
I say very small because it's directly, there's direct proof that shows that depending on who is in power, it affects your lifestyle, your livelihood moving forward. So it's like, if you don't vote for a particular group, it's going to affect, there's all the proof you need right there. Like, I don't know what more you need to, like, yes, there are probably some things going on, like government conspiracy, all that type of stuff, you know, that we don't know about. We're not in that bracket of knowledge to know, but there are things you can go out and find.
The way I think about it is, if you guys are one of the people who think about conspiracy, or think that, you know, the government's fudging the numbers, whatever, let's just say they are. Fine, let's just say they are. If there is enough people who vote for a particular party or group or whatever, if there are enough, make their job hard as hell to do that. Because, like, you can only hide so much. If you are, like, let's just say they are just fudging numbers. Make their job hard as hell. Because if they have 1 million votes to hide, like, where are you putting these?
Where are you putting these?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than if it's like a couple hundred that they need to, okay, let me just shift a couple here that these won't go unannounced. Like, it's very hard to just hide 1 million votes that just vanish for this one person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you are someone who thinks that way, then fine. But still vote to make their job harder if they are trying to do that. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of this political landscape, in terms, you always notice how social media, as you mentioned before, we live in this age now, right, where it's so heightened. Things like technology have changed the way that these politicians like really target certain people, right? And unfortunately what happens is, you know, a lot of narratives get thrown out there. And if you're someone that doesn't take the time to be educated or educate yourself on what's going on, you'll just see what is being like spewed out online, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make my snap judgment off of this, right? So I think it's very important to not only vote, but actually have conversations about politics. And this is the question I was going to ask you, right? So do you think it's important to, one, have conversations with people about politics, and two, do you think you should know who people vote for? Like,
why is it so personal kind of thing? Like the fact that, like, right now, like, it's always been so silent.
So I'll give you an example, So I don't think there should be a stigma around like who people vote for. And the reason for that,
society has created that.
I know, but the reason for that is because I feel like society. Pardon?
It'll spark a conversation?
Yeah, it's spark a conversation, but I think, to your point, the reason why it's like society has caused this is because it's allowed people to think that if you vote for this person, it means that you're like against me, right? But I think through sparking a conversation and educating yourself, you realize that at the end of the day, people are voting for
what means something to them.
To their best interest, right? So, you know, I may not, let's say we're living in the States as Democrats, Republicans, like I'm not, based on what I know and what I've educated, like I know that I wouldn't be a Republican, right? Especially as like a black person and in my current like financial status, all those things. If everything about me was the same, and I was like crazy rich, right? I'm not saying that I would vote for Republicans still, but based on what they do for people,
it'd be affecting your life.
It would
differently.
It would be affecting my life
Exactly.
significantly. So it wouldn't be outrageous for someone like me to vote Republican, but based on my like what I align with, my morals, I wouldn't.
I agree.
Right? Right?
Yes.
So I think having conversations like that can make it less uncomfortable. Right?
I definitely agree, and I feel like I always find it funny, like how secretive and like like clannish this like politics always becomes every year, where it's like, you know, the booth is private, you know, you go in this little thing, like even how you vote, how we voted today, like you sign this paper, you go in behind this booth, full little make sure no one can see you, put it in, you walk off, like, okay, cool.
It's
like,
kind of funny because I forgot, like when you're voting, they don't know that it was you that voted for this.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just check you in.
Right, your name's not on that.
Your name's not on the ballot. Like, they don't know who you vote for. So it's like...
But then it's like, after the voting process, like even just like in day to day.
Yeah.
If you have a conversation with most people and you're like, who'd you vote for? They're like, oh, it's just personal. What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know if this is illegal or not. I don't think it's illegal because it's stupid, but I vote NDP, personally. I have no problem saying that publicly. Because what the hell? Like, that's, and why I did was because I actually took like a couple days, actually probably 3 days, to actually educate myself, because I don't want to just vote. It's actually not helpful if you just vote to just vote as well. That's also very key. Us saying to go out and vote doesn't mean just go check a box. Because that's not helping. Go vote means educate yourself first on all the candidates and what they represent and all the parties, and then go find something that aligns with what you believe in, and then make your vote. Not just go check a box. We're not encouraging you to just go out there and just play multiple choice. Like, that's not what we're saying.
And this one. None of that.
I voted AVP because I followed a lot of Jagmeet's campaign, and or Jagmeet, sorry, mispronunciation. And he was just saying a lot of things about, you know, just being a minority and being a person of color, and, you know, his experience is different than other people's. And it is. My experience is different than other people's that are not colored. And just, you know, some of his points he was making, I think a key point that really stood out to me in one of the debates was that I think he was saying, like, right now it's coming down to, like, people are arguing or choosing between wrong and worse, right? He said some comment about, like, you guys are really deciding between wrong and worse rather than something fresh and something new. And that really stuck with me because, you know, Trudeau was arguing with I think it was the Conservative, I can't remember which one. And they were arguing back and forth about, everyone was just deflecting, and no one was actually making an actual point. It was just pointing and poking holes in what you're doing, and I'm poking holes in what I'm doing, and both and vice versa. But no one's actually addressing something, and that's when he was like, "You guys are just both trying to break down each other rather than addressing how you guys can solve anything." Right, and that stood out to me, and the things he was saying. You guys may have different opinion, which is fine, but I feel like this shouldn't be, you know, a negative thing to be like, I voted NDP because it just. Hold your point and stand up for why you did something. I feel like people are scared to be accountable of why they did something.
Right? Especially in the time that we live in now. Like, we live in Canada, but we see so much of what goes on in the States, right? So if you're living in America, like, I understand wherever you live, the hesitancy to like tell someone why you voted for someone.
Because they'll view you very differently.
Because they will view you differently, right? So, you know, I was talking to someone and they said that, like, I have no problem talking about politics, but I don't tell people who I vote for because I don't like how it separates people, or how they start looking at you differently.
You can't undo that.
Which makes a lot of sense, and I respect it, right? I just think the problem is like, when you for me, when I hear a statement like that, I can't help but, my brain for a second can't help but think, are you saying that because you know who I would vote for? So who you're voting for is someone that's like the complete opposite. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna tell you because like I don't wanna cause a rift. But it's like, why would it cause a rift? There's only one of two reasons. It's either if you're just voting for foolishness, or because you feel like who you're voting for is someone I would hate. At the end of the day, someone could tell me like, I didn't vote conservative, right? If someone close to me was just like, I voted conservative, I'd be like, that sucks, but what am I gonna do about it? Like,
okay, so segue to that then.
Yeah.
Can someone's political choice ruin the friendship for you?
Friendship or relationship? Let's do that.
Or relationship. If your girl or your man votes for something you don't vote for, and you guys are currently together, and they're firmly believing about one party and one person's values versus your firm beliefs about one person's party, one person's values, and you guys are in a relationship, and you guys discuss this openly rather than keeping it secret.
Can it ruin it?
Could that ruin the relationship?
Okay, so
I think yes.
Okay.
And I think it will.
Yeah?
If there are very, very strong points that are really affecting your personal values.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
that will teach you about somebody as well. That's why I think we should be doing these things. Because we don't talk about it. You just, I like this guy. I like this girl. It's like, but do you really?
Yeah.
Because do you actually know what they think about things?
You know what? I agree with you. But I think what a lot of it has to do with is like, okay, if we're talking about friendships, I can totally see why that might destroy a friendship.
Right.
Talking about relationships, I think it's in the same realm, but I think a lot of it has to do with how
you address it?
How you address it, what stage you're in the relationship with this person. Because look, for example, I think there's a difference between you dating someone and you're not even living together versus you living with someone.
Yes.
I agree. I think even if you are living together, like, are you married? Like, are you common law? Like, because at this point, you have to start thinking like as a unit. Right? And once you have a family, like you're like, okay, we're married, we're common law, whatever it is, we're gonna have a family at some point. Or if you don't decide to have kids, everything that you do, it's a team, right? So you have to like actually talk this out amongst your partner because, you know,
it has to become a consensus of what are we doing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Because if let's say I vote liberal and you vote NDP or conservative or any other party, it's just their things don't align. So it's like, what is the point of us voting separately if we're still a unit, right? Because
like, what do you want for us that I don't want?
Right?
Right?
You know what I mean? So the thing is, like, if you're not at that stage where you're common law or married, even though you're living together, you're technically like not a unit yet.
You still have your own opinion. You still have something like that.
For something like that, which I can respect, which is why I would love for people, especially in those positions, to have that conversation, right? Because at the end of the day, example here, you could be dating someone and living with them, right? And, you know, you could vote liberal and your partner could vote conservative, right? And your partner could say to you, like, I'm voting conservative because what if they come from like a well-off family, right? Or like, what if their family is just in a situation where it's better in their interest to vote? I'm not really going to be mad at that, right?
Like, I get why your family is doing it.
Like, there's a difference between like understanding and accepting something, right? So it's like, I may not be totally like thrilled if someone votes for something, but at the end of the day, like I can accept and understand it and not be upset at that. Right?
So I definitely agree with that, and I think the line of discrepancy is only where if it comes down to the person that's voting for something is voting for something that are actual values that you do not believe in.
Yeah.
Like the example you gave, that isn't necessarily a value; it's more of a benefit.
Exactly.
Right? Like I understand why your family and you believe in this because of the benefit to your name and your family and your generations. This will help benefit your family. better than anything else. That makes sense. But if certain values are different, that the discussion doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's like if someone's saying, you know, if someone's actual values are saying immigrants should not come here. Like if that's an actual value in someone's mind that believes immigrants should not keep coming to Canada. Right? And you, as an immigrant, family as an immigrant, more cousins and like everyone that you know are immigrants, friends, family over there are immigrants, and they have bettered their life by coming here. I can't get on board with you.
It's kind of crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally, I can't look at you and get on board with you because that is my existence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you because practically everyone I know is an immigrant. Like, whether even if they were born here, like their parents were probably immigrants. Like, everyone was an immigrant at some point. So it's like kind of weird to look at that and be like, I don't like this. And it's like, so like you wouldn't be here. Like, if it was,
you wouldn't be with me.
Yeah. Regardless of like your. In all honesty, regardless of your skin color, like...
We're immigrants. Immigrant doesn't mean colored.
Yeah, like the majority of people here are immigrants, right? So it's like, even if you don't agree with that, it's like, yo, like that's kind of weird, you know?
That'd
like,
be tough for me.
So, do you think, could you be dating someone for... Because it's the thing, right? Like, we're not voting like every year, right? So let's say
It's a long gap.
How many years is it in between? Is it 4?
I think it's 4.
Right? So let's say, name for 3 years, right? The 4th year's coming up for election time. Those 3 years, you're not really talking about politics all that much.
And then it comes to the 4th year, really
that 4th year, you're like, oh wow, like
I don't even know you.
Yeah, different. Like, do you think you're breaking up?
I'm done. Yo, think of that would really just and
crush you. It'd probably crush you.
It would crush me.
Yeah.
But I'd also be so disappointed because I'm like, how could I have not known this?
Yeah.
Like for so long.
But don't you think they're thinking the same thing? They're probably thinking the same thing. Looking at you, they're like, how did I not know this guy was? You know, it's not one-sided. Like it goes both ways. So that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think that is something
should be discussed early?
Which is crazy because
like what do you believe in? Like
what are your political standpoints?
Yeah.
You know?
Like what do you?
This was something I never would have thought about
as a kid. No way.
In my early 20s.
No way.
But now that I'm getting older, I'm definitely thinking about it more.
Yeah.
So it's like, moral of the story is if you can, get in a relationship like in the first term. Like in the early part.
Right before the election. Wait, what are we doing? Before we get in a relationship, who are you going for?
Who are you going for? Let me know.
Oh man. But yeah. By the time this goes up, it'll be Saturday.
Yeah.
So hope you guys had voted throughout the week. That's our
little spiel.
A little bit longer than we wanted, but I think it was definitely helpful.
It's just interesting because I did think about that. I'm like, you know, when do you talk about that stuff with your partner? Is it something you talk about? Could that destroy a relationship? Like it's tough, but
it's killing mine. That's for sure.
Yeah.
If it's a really strong value, it couldn't.
Yeah.
Like. I'm not gonna name names, but someone I dated in the past. Oh my God!
You're already in it.
Even thinking about what she said just boils my blood.
Yeah.
Okay. Because she said something along the line, paraphrase, and I can't remember word for word because I was so disappointed. And the thing is, that really showed me like after that I was turned off. Like we're still kind of dating after that, but I couldn't get rid of that thought.
Yeah.
And she said, again, something along the lines of immigrants, saying how they all come here.
Yeah.
They come here.
Yeah.
And take our jobs.
Yeah.
Okay? She said these words. They come here and take our jobs and try and force their culture on us.
Yeah.
Very crazy statement. Okay? So I'm looking at her, I'm like, so what do you mean by force their culture on? Like, what do you, like, I was really like trying to give her a chance to like, what the hell are you trying to say?
Yeah.
And she's like, they come here and they speak their language, and they come into an English country and they're just speaking their language in the streets. I'm just like, well, that's their language.
Yeah.
And that's what they're comfortable speaking. If they don't speak English, how are they gonna communicate with each other? She's like, yeah, but you came to English country to learn English. I'm like, well, you travel. You just
learn the language?
You learn it, no. She's like, yeah, but if they're coming to Canada, immigrant and live here. I'm like, all right, okay, listen. So then she gave me a wild example.
Yeah.
And I just had to just blank face her. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stop talking about this because I'm gonna get mad. She goes, that's like an Anglican person walking into a Catholic church trying to convert them. Like, first of all,
you're like, what?
First of all, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
And second of all, immigrants aren't trying to convert anybody into anything.
Yeah.
They're coming here to, and I was getting so heated. I'm like, let's just stop.
Yeah.
Let's just not do this.
Yeah, let's not do this.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
But
everything was great about you until you talked about this.
After that, I was like, I got turned off, and shortly after broke up with her. But like, I'm like,
how shortly after? What's shortly
literally
after?
like a week and a half.
Oh, okay.
No joke. Like,
Right.
I was like, I feel sick.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is deep to the core.
Yeah.
Because like, you're so passionate about this. Like, you know?
You know what's funny? Shout out to Andrew Schultz. I can't help but think of his bit. He had a stand-up bit talking about this in the States. And the people were like, they're taking our jobs, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, because they're talking about like Mexicans doing this, right?
Yeah, I remember the
He's like, no Mexican is running up in the Apple store. Like, give me your jobs. Like, they're not doing that. Like, no one's doing that. Like, these people are working the jobs that the people who already live here don't want to work.
Want to take.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, complain. That's crazy.
It's crazy. But anyway, we're getting into some of the questions that
we digress.
that people have given us over a couple of weeks. First one, how has the podcast negatively and positively affected your life?
I'll start with positively.
Yeah.
Positively is easy because the podcast is giving me a release to, not hold things. And I've always been an open person, but it's actually giving me a platform to kind of share on a wider scale.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I didn't know, share my perspectives, which is amazing because like I'm saying things based on how I operate, based on how things, work in my life and what I think works best. And when I hear other people like, oh yeah, like I heard your podcast and it really, changed my life, or because of this, I was able to help, a relationship or leave a relationship, like those type of impacts, that's everything to me. You know what I mean? Like those, and obviously from the YouTube channel before coming to this, like that was that feeling of, making YouTube videos and stuff and getting that feedback and impact on other people, and then growing into a podcast it's just on a larger scale, and the live
TV show
to now a TV show. Like it's incredible. So positively, it's out the park. Like I love what it's done for me, for people that I can impact. Negatively, I feel like the only negatives aren't super negative, but I do know that anyone I speak to, like any female I speak to, I know they're kind of hesitant because, like, again, we don't name names, but I'm not gonna not talk about a situation. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely. Let me ask you this: have you ever had someone be like, "I hope you're not going to talk about me on the podcast"?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So like that's
definitely. Like I had girls be like, "Is this gonna be on the podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." I'm not gonna say it to you, but you know you did.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Like, no, but like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not, and I don't say it's negative because I'm like, I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I just mean it's negative because I know now the navigating, like anyone that talks is like, oh, if I'm talking to Ryan, it's like, if I do some shit, like if I do something crazy,
there's a possibility it could end up on.
Yeah, like I gotta be on my P's and Q's because I know if I do anything outlandish, like he might talk about it. So maybe more, maybe you're more hesitant to talk to me because of that.
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't bother me, but if anything negative, it'd probably just be that.
It's interesting because, like from a positive standpoint, I agree. Like it's definitely been a release. It's cool just like been interacting with all these different types of people, seeing the different people at our live shows. That's been really cool. The negative standpoint is funny because I don't think while we've been doing the podcast and now the TV show, I think I've only been single for like 4 or 5 months while we've been doing the podcast, right? Okay. Like in between my last partner and this one. And being in a relationship while having this is interesting because there's a difference. Like someone I dated in the past, like doing this, I hated it. I didn't hate doing the podcast, but it was
the dynamic it caused.
I hated the dynamic it caused because this person they would like, it was weird. Like they would twist my words of things that I would say. And it was one of the rare times in life where someone could be like, no, this is what you said. Cause there was like literal, like
it's recorded.
It's recorded, but I'm like, but you're taking on you know what I mean? So it's like, that was the weird thing about it. When I was single, definitely like people who I would talk to or like, you know, I'd be seeing, they'd be like, what do you do? Like, and I tell them all the things that I do. And like the podcast, you can't just not mention the podcast.
Right.
And the podcast would come up. And I found it funny because I felt like they would,
Go check it out.
yeah, they would definitely, it was their
Brief
way.
you?
Like, we live in a time
What
where,
does he think about this?
yeah, like we live in a time where you want to know about someone, creep their Instagram, like creep their social media, right? To form like what is it called? A Carfax.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
get the
yeah.
Carfax on the person.
Your resume.
Get their resume.
Yeah.
But now, you and I have this platform where we're literally talking about dating and relationship stuff.
Topic.
Specifically.
Like, what did he think about this?
Right.
And you can find it.
So if they go on this page, or they check out this show or the YouTube videos, and they're like, they see something about what does he think about like first dates and stuff like this, or they no doubt can go on this page and find out like tips and tricks that we
To get to you.
that we've talked about before,
yeah.
and it's like now they know. Okay,
Oh, you like this? Cool.
cool.
Like,
I'm gonna deflect that when the time comes up, right?
Yeah.
So it's had its ups and downs, but it's over more cases. It's been better,
definitely.
way better.
Definitely.
This is actually a pretty good one. What was the best advice you were ever given? If it's hard to narrow it down to one, you can do more than one, but
See,
I know mine. I have one that I can think of right now.
I feel like it's gonna sound crazy, but I give a lot of advice.
Yeah. But you don't think that
Like-
it might not, let me rephrase it then. It might not, when I say advice, it might not be someone sitting you down or like someone just saying something to you. It could have been like something you've seen, like you see,
Okay.
right?
Like it's advice.
Exactly.
witnessed, or
Like it could have been anything, but you're like, I'm definitely,
I think when I practice every day, like to this day, is literally trying everything and anything.
yeah.
Like that is like my brand. Like the brand King of Arts is King of Arts, many different skills, many different talents, and even the name of the brand came from me just trying everything. I was an athlete, got injured, then I started drawing, then I started sketching, then I started designing, then I started the podcast, then I did a YouTube channel, then I started writing, then I'm a photographer. Like
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to try anything. So that's something I keep with me and I've kept with me, I guess, as long as I can remember. Whoever told me or whoever I saw it from, I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's something I embody. I know it didn't come from me because we're only, vessels of what we learn and see.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
something somewhere has advised me or, conditioned me to not fear trying anything. And it's benefited me greatly to this point. So I will instill that into my kids once I have them. I instill it into friends and family, right? When that comes to me for advice, like, and I'm a living example. I'm like, literally, like, what do you have to lose? Nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, nothing will happen anyways. If you do it and it works, then it works. And if you do it and it doesn't work, then try something else.
Yeah.
Like, there's no downside, right?
Yeah. That's like, it's funny, I saw my boy Irving, Brightest Hour on
Yes,
Instagram.
yeah.
He posted something yesterday basically saying that whenever he gets the happiest or most excited when he finds something new that he's terrible at. Because he's just like,
Now I can start from zero.
yeah, like you're starting from zero. You know how exciting it's going to be to look back and be like, I was like trash before and now I'm really good at this. We probably attribute that to our photography and videography work. Like,
Definitely.
if I look back at my old stuff, I'm like, that was trash. But that was me just like actually just trying everything.
learning, yeah.
Just learning and trying everything. And now I'm like, cool. Like, I don't like what I did back then, but I'm better now. It's a benchmark. You need a benchmark for everything you do in
Absolutely.
life. Right? For me, I would probably say, I was told once, when you do what you have to do, you can do what you want to do, right? And as I've gotten older, that phrase has kind of changed a little in my head because I've realized, quite honestly, at any point in life, like you can do what you want.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do it. You can do whatever you want to do at any given time, right? But I think what that person was saying when I heard it was that, being who we are, like we can literally do anything, right? But when you take care of like certain things, it really does like set you up like for the future and down the road, right? So and I've really kind of taken that to heart being a freelancer and like doing a lot of the things that we do now, because there were plenty of times where, you know, while I was working a corporate job 9 to 5, my fun time would be when I go out, right? I go out with my friends, go to the club, go to the bar, whatever. And when I switched to freelancer, those same times still could have happened, right? But I knew that my work would have sacrificed because I wasn't putting like enough time and effort into building up my craft, like building up my client base, like doing all those types of things. So in that case, it was like, if I handle this now, I'm gonna be at a point where I can do whatever I want, right? And I've seen it happen, right? And I just try to kind of live by that, because it's a way of letting myself know that, listen, like you don't have to be tied down to anything, but as long as I like, for example, I make a list, it's like, these are the 3 things I gotta take care of. I know that everything else is just a bonus at this point, right? And I think that's kind of like a good thing that I live by. And then the other thing, another piece of advice was, I remember this producer, Hit Boy, he said like health, wealth, positivity, prosperity. I have that like tattooed on me, because like those are the things that like I feel like I should be striving for in life, right? And the one thing I always clarify is when it comes to wealth, it's not necessarily just about money specifically. You know, I do want to be financially successful, but like, how are you in terms of wealth? Like, what does that look like in terms of your friendships, right? Like, are those like actually good? Like those types of things. So those are probably the 2 things for me that I look at the most. Yeah. Cool. And then next question is, hold on, let me pull it up right here. What was the worst trip you've ever been on? Have you ever been on a bad trip with a person you've dated before?
No.
No?
No.
You never have?
Because I didn't start going on trips really until I got older.
Until older?
Like with someone I was dating.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, a quick question. This is another one. Does age matter in a relationship?
I think maturity matters.
Does age matter in a relationship?
I don't know. It varies though, because I feel like I personally won't date someone that's much younger than me.
What's much younger?
I'm 29 now, so I wouldn't date anyone under 25. For me.
Okay.
That's just for me. It doesn't mean anyone under 25 couldn't be good for me. I just won't even bother. So they're just written off based on that. That's just that happens to them.
So you're saying right now to the camera, anyone that's under the age of 25 and under.
At my age of 29, I would not talk to anyone under 25. Like, seriously.
Okay, because
I said date, like really be with, like be my girl. Like, talking about like sleeping, that's whatever. But I would never be with someone.
What if she has everything you're looking for?
I would even let myself. Like,
how do you know that though?
Oh, you're cheesing me.
How do you know that? I'm being honest, because look, as crazy as it sounds, like honestly, I'm in a committed relationship, yeah. But sometimes, honestly, like I feel like I would be scared going out like single.
Why?
Because some girls, like I would never know like how old they actually are unless I card them. Be like,
how girls look these days?
Yeah.
See, no, that's the thing. Like, I definitely know girls look bad as hell that are younger, that are very young.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like the things I'm looking for in life rarely are possessed by those girls. Because they haven't been through enough of the things that I would like them to go through. Their education level, their experience level, their communication levels, their maturity, just the list goes on of things that I necessarily want for me, right? Like if you're 21, 22, like most likely you're still in school. I don't want to talk to anyone who's still in school right now.
Yeah, like you're not.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, oh, you have class? Like I don't even want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And if you just didn't go to school, you're probably just working some retail job, which I also don't want to talk to. Like I don't want to talk to someone who's doing a retail right now. Like for what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Not that retail jobs are bad. I'm just saying there's expectation and levels that I want to get to. That's like, that might work for you. That might be fine for you. But to get to where I want to get to, you're actually not really matching the trajectory of what I want. Yeah. Right? And it's very selfish because I need to be selfish right now. We have to be selfish.
Yeah, you're just at different stages in life.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation before with like a girl a long time ago, right? It's like they're much younger than me, and I'm just like, this is not what I'm looking for, because like we're literally at different stages in our life.
I can't rush you.
The school thing is crazy though, like when you really think about it, because being at our ages now, like you're 29, I'm 27, and it's like, you know, I know that I couldn't date someone who is like in university right now. It'd be weird. It'd be so weird for me, because I'm just like
you're in class.
Yeah, like what do we talk about? Like what are we dealing with here?
You're studying tonight. Okay, cool. Like,
you know, I think that would like breed, like in that situation, this is a hot take, but I feel like it would, depending on who it is or like what type of person you are, you're just like asking for infidelity there.
Why?
I just really think that.
Why?
Because you're at different.
Wait, who's asking for that? Oh, like with that type of
dynamic. If a much older dude is dating a girl who is in class, I feel like that already says something right there about the dude. It's like he can't be serious about this relationship.
Yeah.
You know, he cannot be serious. He's probably like doing some foul stuff on the low.
He's talking to a girl who's not in class.
There you go. Like I feel like.
Oh, you're in class right now?
Yeah.
No worries.
I feel like that's happening.
Study. Don't worry.
I feel like that's happening because I know it's happening. You know what I mean? Like I know that it's happening.
Yo, I want to go on vacation for a week. Oh, I got an exam. No, stop. Don't worry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
You're still gonna go? Yeah, I'm still gonna go.
Yeah.
Who are you going with? No, just my boys. Oh.
True.
So you were gonna ask me, and now you're gonna go with just your boys. Yeah, no, but study for that exam though. Like, good luck.
Good luck on that exam.
Like it's a different level, man. Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like it's possible, you know, to be with someone that's, you know, much younger and even in class, whatever. Yeah. But you have to really want that.
Yeah.
Like you have to be like, you know what, I'm okay with you in school because I'm not there yet for what I want, so I'm okay to wait for you to finish. But but I'm not. I know I am not.
Because you know what,
for someone
like
to be in school.
On a serious note, like. You're right. It all depends on what it is you're looking for, right? Because let's say, like, I'm not looking for it, right? But let's say as a freelancer, someone that's like very busy, you could be someone who wants to be in a relationship but doesn't necessarily need all the like time together, right? So that time when your partner is like in class could very well be beneficial to you, like in a work capacity, because you're like, okay, cool. Like these are the times where I have my time to do what I got to do, right? That could work out, but everything else is just not needed. Like I got to be paying rent, I got to be doing all these things. Like you're not helping me with that. You can't even work because you're in class. You know what I mean? So it's like we're at different stages, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think perfect place to wrap it up there.
Definitely. I feel like as we continue to do these episodes, I feel like we're getting to understand the dynamic between each other. Yeah. We've had a pretty natural dynamic over the years with the podcast and our live shows and stuff, but, you know, I catch myself sometimes, I'm like, I'm on TV. Yeah. So I'm like, certain things that I would say, I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm about to chill a little bit. So I'm still kind of navigating that, how to, you know, clean up some of the stuff I say, which still be my authentic self for you guys, but also, you know, respect that it's a TV channel and a network and stuff. So, but it's fun. It's almost, it's challenging to me right now because it's almost like you're forcing yourself to, on the fly, you know, regulate yourself, but authenticate yourself at the same time.
Yeah. It's definitely a funny dynamic, but it's I think people who watch the show like will appreciate that, especially when they listen to the podcast as well. And on that note as well, by the time they're listening to this, or watching this, I should say, sorry, the episodes, they're already online. They're already on the Camel website where you can watch it, and they'll be on our YouTube channel as well, and they'll definitely be seeing it on the Instagram channel as well, so follow that, Wntt.
This is the third episode now?
Yeah, third episode.
So if you missed episode 1 and 2, it's going to be on Camel's TV website. It's also going to be on our podcast, our Instagram page, WNTT.tv. And then our YouTube channel as well. So we're going to cut up some clips, make it kind of dynamic and fun, take our favorite parts to put together. So just easy for share, you know, comment on, whatever. And like I said, I forgot. Last week, I said I was going to make a question post to get some more questions because I think we're almost done most of the questions that we had, which was a lot of questions, which is great. So to kind of replenish the waters of questions, I'm gonna make a post for that. And yeah, thank you guys always again for tuning in. I love doing this. I still love doing this. Once it's always fun. Before it starts, I'm like, okay, how's it gonna go?
Yeah.
And I have no idea how the conversation. I have no clue. I have no clue how the conversation is gonna go. We have our questions, but we just diverted into a 20-minute politics convo. Like I didn't plan that, but it's natural. It's organic, and I love it. And appreciate you guys. So thank you guys again for tuning in for another episode of Wntt TV. Thank you for listening and watching.
Peace.
See you.
Hello? We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.